Billy RL, real life, is in front of the mic. It is good to be here. And I want you to understand one thing before Billy RL start conversation with you all. Never think it's just Billy RL. It's the team. It's our advisor, the original messenger. It's Katrina. It's the entire team. Sometimes I may say Billy RL, but always remember it's the resistance team. Billy RL cannot do anything without the team. None of us, none of the team members can do anything without each other. So always keep that in mind. But I'm back and I'm here, and it's good to be here. I'm here because I wanted to talk to you about talk to you on several different topics that we, the team, feel that you all out there need to know. You all out there need to be warned yet once again. It was one topic that we had discussed with you all before because we have one team member and we admire and respect her very dearly. First, before she had the task of doing that, carrying that responsibility, we had Beautiful Rose. But now Beautiful Rose has an assignment, a new assignment, where she travels to gain information, or she travels along with other members of the team to give support of what they need or of what they desire. So she's still with the team, but she's on the traveling journey. Now, this team member that we have today, she's a hard worker and we count on her for everything. And she is the one who brings back to us, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And what should I say on this? And what should I say about that? And we inform her as to what to say and what not to say. And we appreciate her very, very highly. She's not an old person and she's not a young person. She's in her middle 30s, but we need her. And she's always there for the team. And that's glamorous fashionista. And she's good. She's good. And she lets us know. And there's sometimes when she will give her own opinion or her own ideas of what it should be and what it should not be. But we always keep track of everything that every team member does to make sure that it's always on the right track. Sometimes I, Billy RL, am not able to immediately respond right then and there. Sometimes I, Billy RL, Katrina, we are not immediately ready to be right there. And so we leave it up to glamorous fashionista to take the matters over in hand. And then not only with her, we have others that works with us as well, or works with glamorous fashionista as well. Sometimes it's Rick. I mean, not Rick, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's Ryan. And because I can't remember everyone's name, and that's everybody's in front of me. And sometimes it's Tabitha, and Tabitha is good. But Tabitha is considered one of our enforcers. That's all I'm going to say about Tabitha. We have others enforcers as well. But I, Billy RL, I'm giving you a general idea of what the resistance team, what some of the members are. And some I cannot talk on and about because they're indiscreet. But I wanted to come to you once again to talk to you about something. And we have talked to you about it before. And Glamorous Fashionista has addressed it many times in the comments that she has seen. And we have told her to make a comment on and about. But this particular person I want to go back and talk to you about is RFK Jr. RFK Jr., he started off by saying that he wanted everybody to start taking the vaccination shots. He calls them vaccination shots, but we all know exactly what type of shots they are. First, he stated when he got into office by number 47 that none of us should take the COVID vaccination shot any longer because COVID is over, so we all should do away with that. Then he comes back and he says a week later that we should take the measles shot. And the reason stating for taking the measles shot vaccination is that people are breaking out with measles, the children and everybody is going here and there, and we got to take the vaccination shot, the measles vaccination, because if you don't, he's not responsible of what happens to you and this sort of thing. Then he comes back a week later and says what he tells people, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him whatsoever. Just take whatever shot that you want to take, whatever you want to take, but when something happens, he's not responsible. This man has come back with so many different wordings as to what to take, what not to take, and the different vaccination shots. And he calls them vaccinations, but they are not vaccinations. We all know exactly what they are. This man had professional scientists before he came along on the scene that knew what to do, how to do, when to do, and why to do. And they were spilling out the truth. That we had some that were flaws, but the majority of them were truthful people. And they were Democrats. They were Democrats. And what RFK Jr. did, he fired every last one of them. Every last one of them. And we believe the reason why he did so, because he did not want anyone to backtrack what he was saying or what he was doing. And so if he told someone to take this and they took it, it wouldn't be no other influence from anyone to say that's wrong. No, I don't think R. Kennedy or RFK, where they called him, I don't think they should take that. And so he fired every last one of them. And then he comes back and he says that there's a new vaccination shot that everyone should take. The other shot is for the mumps, polio, and all, and it is sounding very ridiculous. So what happened is that he had to come before the board, but actually it was the committee hearing with Angela also Brooks. Then he came before her and he tried to play the role of stupidity. He didn't know. He didn't know what was going on. But I am going to show you a video of how she scorned him. And within that video, you will see that this man, RFK Jr., does not know what in the hell he's talking about. He just throwing things up in the air. He just saying this or saying that. And the reason why we, the team, believes he's saying all of this is because, you see, number 47 had him to come in. And so for him to stay in, he has to please number 47 by saying anything that came out of his mouth that he feels that number 47 would be satisfied with. This is why he fired all of those professional doctors and scientists that was within that sector before he even got there. But he fired all of them. And so this is what we strongly believe. This is what we found out through our research. And this is why Angela also Brooks, she stayed on top of him. And he tried to not look at her, and he tried to cut her off. And There was a point, and you will see when she says, now let me finish, because she knew that he was wrong in what he did. She knew that this man has no qualifications, no education, nothing whatsoever to classify himself as a doctor, to classify himself as even knowing about the different diseases and vaccinations that one should take. We're going to show you that video. Watch it and make up your minds. And so we, the team, we're telling each and every one of you out there, don't take any vaccine. Don't care what it is, but a lot of you, you're going to take that jab, you're going to take that shot, you're going to take that mark. But we're telling you, those out there that has good common sense, who know what the facts and the truth and the knowledge is, don't take it. We've heard from people of old that when a man, a woman, boy, or girl, child, when they came down with the measles or the mumps, it was taken care of inside their own place of living. The child was not allowed to go outside, because if the child went outside, they would they would become sterile, for what we've been told, and they would treat their child themselves with things they had at home. You know, and if they did take a shot, it was that one shot, and that was it. That one shot covered it all. But today, this man here is just practically begging people to take this shot, to take this, to make it pretty, make it very pretty, the vaccination. And so we have seen, and we have been told, even a baby that's born maybe a month, 2 months later, that baby has to take at least 6 shots at one time. We've seen this, and when we saw that this baby had to take 6 shots at one time, this baby was the mother says she had a time with her child, because she was so sore, and they couldn't lay, there were certain positions they had to lay their child on so that their child could be comfortable. So we're saying to you all out there, be careful, because RFK Jr. is not, he's not qualified. And when he says something to you all out there, think about it. Think about it. And take your vitamins, and eat the right type of food. And it's not going to say that you will not get the measles or the mumps, but know how to deal with it inside your own. Stop running to these doctors to get shots and get all kind of things. Found out also last night that there was this husband and wife who had went to this doctor, and the doctor had them on every type of medication there was to have them on. And then not only that, they had this husband and wife, they performed different types of surgeries, or had surgery done on this husband and wife, surgeries that was not needed. But in the end, what happened? This husband and wife went through so many, went through turmoil. They were suffering with pains and aches, all of this. They couldn't eat, they couldn't sleep, because of the unwanted surgeries that they should not have had to get, because of the pills that they were not supposed to take. This doctor, he did it all, he knew it, and he wanted money. But yet and still, this doctor is serving 10 years in prison. Well, 10 years, that's not even good enough, because this husband and wife is still suffering from the after effects of what they went through. So we, the team, was telling all of you, we're not telling you anything, we're stating to all of you out there, you have to be very careful when it comes to what RFK Jr. states, or any doctor. You have to be very careful, because what they are doing now, they are trying to get people to take everything but the right thing. You got to be forewarned. The cucumbers, they have taken the cucumbers off the shelves, off the shelves, but out of the the it's not the shells, but out of the vegetable owls, and they have taken them away. And they're saying that the cucumbers are contaminated. People, let me tell you something. If you believe what they're saying, then you are just as contaminated as they are. Cucumbers is a nutritious food vegetable. And so they know that anything that you take that will benefit and help your body, they will say that there's something wrong with this one, there's something wrong with that one. But you know what they're doing to those cucumbers? We found out the resistance thing. They're taking those cucumbers and taking them underground. And they are taking them underground for themselves. Um, when you see people, a man out there in the streets, working in the streets and doing this and that with their tractors and their drillers and all that sort of thing, they are drilling in the ground. Do you know the underground tunnel is from here to California, from California to Antarctica, all of them places. They have places underground where they are to go to, and they need enough food down there, not only for a year, 2 years, for 10, 15, 20 years. And so what they're doing, they're taking away from the people here on this planet Earth and taking it down underground, but telling you all that there's something wrong with the cucumbers. There's something wrong with this. There's something wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong, because how can you prove it? And then they will have certain individuals to come for, because I got sick off of it. Those are actors. So you have to know what's what with people. And this is why they have RFK Jr. in there, hoping and trusting that he can deceive and fool all of you into running, not walk, but to run to take those vaccination shots. You better wake up, people. And this is the time now to wake up. Wake up. So, to make a long story short, people, question everything that RFK Jr. is saying, or anyone that's in his corner. Question what he's saying. This man is unqualified. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's mumbling with his words. He's forgetful. And really, we believe that he's at the early stage of dementia. Because you watch the video of Angela Also Brooks, and you will see something is not right mentally with this man here. And so just be careful. You don't need those shots. Get your old home remedies. Go with what Dr. Savvy has said to cure your own self. Because with these doctors, the more that you go to these doctor's office and you get pills and you get this and that, you're making those doctors rich. You're making them wealthy. And then they're giving you this pill, this injection, that injection, so that you can continuously come back to them. Wake up, people. If you have never woken up before, it's time to wake up now when it comes to people like RFK Jr. and those doctors. Okay?
Also Brooks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I'm over here. I've been sitting through this hearing all day today and have noted that you've been unable, in most instances, to answer any specific questions relating to your agency.
Because I haven't been given time.
Well, no, you have been given time, but the point of the matter is you've been unable to answer specific questions. Sir, you are the wrong person for this job. And you had in this hearing today the unmitigated gall to say at the beginning of your testimony that China is ahead of the United States in healthcare because China does not have DEI.
I didn't say that.
Well, we can roll back the tape. You absolutely did.
And you will find I didn't say that.
That is absolutely what you said.
I was talking about science. I didn't say they're ahead of us. They're ahead of us in some forms of science, certainly not in healthcare.
Well, we can roll back the tape, but nonetheless, let me go on with my questions and ask you this. You just heard about the Safe to Sleep campaign, and you have made cuts. You made it very clear here today. You have no knowledge whatsoever of the absolutely amazing scientists and researchers who you have callously fired. You know nothing about the cuts.
You didn't fire any working scientists, Senator.
That, sir, is not true either. But nonetheless,
it is true.
It is not true. Let me ask
It
you
is
another
true.
specific question. The Safe to Sleep campaign, well, then can you name, sir, which office the Safe to Sleep campaign operates out of?
The which campaign?
Well, that's the one that the senator just asked you about 2 minutes ago that prevents babies from dying in their sleep. A 30-year program inside your agency. You would agree that it's
I think
important.
it's part of HRSA or ACF. It's ACF.
No, actually, it's in Health and Human Services.
Yeah.
And I think, and again,
No, they're
very,
all within Health and Human Services, but the subdivision is ACF,
no, actually, the name of the office
Administration
is
of
the
Children and Families.
No, let me tell you what it is. The National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. This is actually the one that your aunt, Eunice Kennedy Shriver, is the person who it's named after. And you noted just a moment ago, the senator reminded you that although this is a very important agency, prevents babies from dying, this is the same one you fired every single person in this office as of April the 1st. It is also.
As I said, there were no working scientists fired during the RIF.
We can bring you that information later, but because what you just said is not true. Well, then the question also is, in addition to firing the individuals who make sure babies don't die in their sleep, why did you cut funding and staff from the CDC's National Center on Birth Defects and Developmental Disabilities, which supports the Special Olympics? Was that a mistake? I've heard you say you've made some mistakes today. Was that also a mistake?
We switched those programs to the Administration for Healthy America. They have not been cut.
Well, the funding has been cut, and this is one that oversaw the Special Olympics. Are you aware of that?
We have not cut the Special Olympics.
You've cut the funding, and you also dismantled the Division of Reproductive Health and Women's Health and Fertility. You're aware of that, right?
We have, right now, we have 42 divisions that do maternal health, and we're consolidating them. And the mainstream media has portrayed those as cuts, but they're not cuts, they're consolidations. It's ridiculous to have 42 divisions that are all supposed to be doing the same thing with their
Well, let me
own
ask you a
administrators.
Well, let me ask you a question. So that doesn't exist right now, it's been dismantled. That is a fact, that particular division, what you plan to do in the.
There's
the fact
42
of the matter
divisions
is that
on
it's been-
maternal health, we consolidated.
Sir, let me finish what I'm saying here. The fact of the matter is you have dismantled it as we speak. And are you aware, what does the assisted reproductive technology mean to you? Are you familiar with that?
Are you talking about IVF?
Well, it's assisted reproductive technology. It's a division. Do you know what it does?
Is it part of NIH?
No, it's actually a part of your agency. It's a
Oh,
part.
NIH is part of my
what a
agency,
part of
Senator. You should know that.
I do know that, but it's actually a part of, it's the CDC is where it is.
Okay, then it's CDC.
Right, okay. Let me just ask you, and again, these are all of the things you seem unfamiliar with, the ones, the programs that you've cut.
You're
Let me just ask you-
unfamiliar with my agency, that NIH and CDC are part of HHS.
Oh, I absolutely know. NIH is in my county. I was there this past weekend with
I
the
know that.
researchers that you have fired. So I absolutely know where NIH is, sir, and don't need any help from you in knowing that. I see the time. Thank you.
Senator Blunt.
The next subject I want to talk to you about is something that's also very serious, and it's about women having children. Now, I know that some of you, if not all of you, have heard the statement from 47, as well as from Elon Musk, stating that he wants women to have children, to have more children. But he didn't specify more, but he did say he wants women to have children. And he would give that woman $5,000. And I know that some of you out there, when you heard that, you went crazy. And you decided to go meet the Tom, Dick, and Harry that you felt that you could have a child with so that you can claim that $5,000. Well, I am here, Billy Ariel, and the team am here to tell you that what you heard was not what you all think that it was or think that he was saying. What 47 and Elon Musk was talking about when he said that he wants women to have children, more children, and he would give them $5,000. What he was talking about, not you going out there to meet Tom, Dick, Harry, and James to get pregnant. He was not talking about that. He was talking about because number 47 said they wanted good women, and he emphasized on the good women to have children. What they were talking about was having AI children. AI by having you injected, having the female, the woman injected to be pregnant, not by any man's bodily organ, but by a needle having you being injected. And with you being injected, then you would become pregnant. But you would not get that $5,000 until the time that that child, that AI child, was in some nurse or doctor's arms, taken away from you. And once that, or when that has been done, you will receive $5,000. Now, let's go back and track back a little bit backwards. Before you are injected, you will have to sign papers stating that you are going to carry their child, the AI child, for $5,000. Well, a lot of you women, you're not going to pass up that offer, but it's not going to be the everyday regular female. It's going to be someone that they have decided upon to for to do this. You will sign papers. Once you sign those papers or that paper or however, then you carry the child. Now, you may not carry the child for 9 months because it will be a AI child slash hybrid. And so you may not carry that child for 9 months because it doesn't take 9 months to bring forth a hybrid AI child. And once that AI or hybrid child has been born and it is safely in the arms of that particular nurse or that particular doctor, taken away, everything is fine, then you will get your $5,000. And then they will move on to the next female that they have chosen. So you females out there, you women, don't think that it's just everybody and anybody can line up to get $5,000 because it's not going to be that way. And you would know if you had did your research. And see, then sometimes, and I want to say this, sometimes it takes a little bit more than just researching. Sometimes it takes a phone call of someone telling you this, exactly what's going on. Sometimes it takes traveling far off to be able to get information. So, and this is what the resistance team has done. Now, Elon Musk is not human. He laughs, he smiles, he walks, but if you notice how he talks the way of a hybrid. He is a hybrid male. But go beyond hybrid, he's a hybrid robotoid. This is why when you really watch him, he talks the way he talks. And then so he has that odd looking look about him. He's shaped differently. And if you notice how he walks, he does not walk like 100% human being because he's not. He's a hybrid robotoid. He walks, he eats, he drinks just like any of us. But he's smart. He's very, very smart. He has women. He has had women in his life. He was married to one, had children. They can have children, but they are particular different. women than regular women here on this planet Earth. And some of the women that he has had, they're just there for birthing. And this is why the children that Elon Musk has had, those women will not come forward to say anything bad or wrong about Elon Musk because they had to sign papers too as well. They will not. They will not tell of his behaviors or anything pertaining to him because he is a hybrid robot. This is what he wants, 47 wants from the women here in this world. But they're going to choose the type of women that they want to uh, inject to be pregnant or to get pregnant. This is what he wants. It will not be you, or you. 47, he stated, along with Elon Musk, they want children in this world today to be very, well, smart. At least Elon Musk did emphasize on it. They want children to be very smart. They want them to be educated. They want them to be more than what is necessary for them to be. And who could that be? None other than hybrid robots, a robotoid. And that's what Elon Musk is. His child that was at the White House during the time 47 was in office, that child is a hybrid. To look at him, you would think, no, Billy R.L., that is an American human being. No, that child is a hybrid. This is why that child was saying all sorts of things to number 47. And number 47 sat there and didn't say a word about it because number 47 knew exactly who and what that child was. Now, so to you women out there, if you think that you're looking for Tom, Dick, James, and Harry to get you pregnant, go ahead. But you're not going to get $5,000 for it. The only thing that you'll be doing is bringing your child into the world, and eventually you or he will be dissolved, and that child will be carried on by them to get their organs. Because every one of those high elites, they have homes underground. From here to Timbuktu, you can't imagine how far and how long and how wide their homes are underground. And they need organs. And so, yes, you have your child, you and Tom, Dick, James, and Harry. You've got a little boy, you've got little girls, you have one, two, and how many? But you have to remember that you are a parent. You are renting that child out, or those children out from the government. That's why you're classified as parent. And eventually, one, if not both of the parents, they decease, something happens to them, and that's when they will come in. CPS will come in and will remove that child and take that child away and will give that child to who they feel is necessary for them to have that child or those children until they feel it's time for them to take over by them, the government, the higher ups, the elites. But you all don't believe this. But you would if you did your research and checked behind the scenes. You would know this. You females out there, you have to pay attention to everything that's going on. If you don't understand some things, don't get so hyper active about it. $5,000, I can need that money, but let me go out here. Hey, John, listen, you don't hear what the president said. The president said that, he would give a woman $5,000 if they had a child. But let's have another child. And then you have that child and you realize eventually later on that you're not going to get a dime because they're not talking about you. They're not talking about, Why do you think Elon Musk's wife left him? She left him. Why do you think that all the other women that Elon Musk have had, they're not there with him? They're not. But they know, but they cannot speak up and about this man. So know what's going on, people. So many times you've been lied to, and you just cannot comprehend when your children go to school. Your children go to school, and you're thinking that, my children is in the best hands and they have the perfect teacher, don't, but you don't understand. There's nothing that you can do if your child comes home and say, Mommy, John hit me and I don't know what to do. And you run to the school and you say, well, I'm gonna talk to that teacher, I'm gonna talk to John, mother or father, whomever, this is gonna stop. And then you're frustrated because the teacher or the principal at the school didn't become more involved. When they are not going to come more involved because they are part of the problem, because they realize that you are nothing more than a parent. You see? And so this is why we tell you all to open your eyes and be awakened to what's going on. You're not going to get that $5,000. Those that they choose certain ones to be able to receive that $5,000 only after that child is that hybrid robot is born. Sign papers. Going back over what I just previously told you on, it's not going to be easy, but you're going to be watched and monitored because they're not going to give you $5,000 that, just for nothing. And if you say after that child is born, I want to see the child that I gave birth to, they're not going to allow that to happen because you have signed papers. That child does not belong to you anymore. It belongs to the government. The government. And that's the way it is with Elon Musk. Elon Musk says that he's finished now. He's finished at the White House and he's going to go on and he's going to live his life. That's a lie. When 47 told him, not asked him, but stated to him, you can stay at the White House. Do you think that Elon Musk is going to leave the White House? No, you may not see him often. You may not hear from him often, but he's there. And he's right there beside number 47, telling him and giving him instructions as to what to do, how to do, why, and when to do. He's not going to leave. And when you do see him come out that White House, not permanently, he's gone to make plans for other things that he's inventing. But he's not going to completely leave because 47 is getting older in years. He's getting older and he needs guidance. And a lot of what's going on today from 47, and you're thinking that is from 47, has been from Elon Musk. Elon Musk. And so this man is not going anywhere. He's going to be there because he's needed. And him, and then there's a few others that's there that has persuaded 47, well, you need to do so and so. You need to do this, you need to do that. People, open your eyes to see. And what it's all about is nothing but knowledge. The facts and the truth, it brings forth knowledge. And knowledge brings forth power. And once that power is within you, it's burning to get out. But some of you, you don't want it to come out. You don't want it to burn. Because if you allowed that knowledge, that power to come forward, you could be able to know exactly who's who and who's not and what's what and what's not. Because as I stated just a minute ago, knowledge is power and power is knowledge. You know, a lot of people have a lot of melanin. Melanin. I want to repeat that to you again so you can understand what I'm saying. And so, with you people out there, especially the Black race of people, you go out there and you have children, and your children are born into the world, they'll get rid of you before they get rid of your child because that child has so much of melanin, so much of it. Things like this are happening everywhere, people, and especially in this day and time of life. And so when you hear something from 47, Elon Musk, or anyone in their office, RFK Jr., you have to recognize and understand what they are saying. Don't get so excited about it. $5,000, yes, for you to carry that child in your stomach. That child is not going to be human like your other children are. That child is not going to be what you think they're going to be. Elon Musk can lead to as well. But the thing with Elon Musk, no matter how much he smiles, this man has no feelings. He has no emotions. This is why he is insisting that 47 do it this way and do it that way, because he has no emotions. He does not feel. And that's what hybrid robots are. He can ride a bicycle, he can drive himself in a car. They're able to do that. But you have to know if you had that knowledge of power within yourself, you would be able to know that man is a hybrid. He's a hybrid. We the team well would say hybrid robo. That's what we call him. Hybrid robot. So this is what Elon Musk is. And you would know this, but some of you are so engrossed to get that I can take $5,000 too. I can buy me another new car. I can have a roof over top of my house. But it's not gonna by the time, but no, let me stop there. It's not going to be the everyday person. It will be the females that they have chosen. So you have to understand that. It has to be the female that they have chosen. Females who are highly educated, females who are really about something, those who are willing to sell themselves to Lucifer. That's what the hybrid robot is. They are a symbol and affiliated with Lucifer, and that's who they want. So you females out there, you think before you start, before you just start jumping the gun. You can go out there, and I will say it again, you can go out there and have children by Tom, Dick, Harry, and James, or whomever, black, white, Chinese, Spanish, or whoever, and you're thinking that you want to get the $5,000 where you're sad and mistaken because you're not. But you have that child. Your child can be of use to them with the organs and with the eyes and with anything that's within the inside of your child. That child will be a use for them. So if that's what you want, so be it. But don't be ignorant, people. You females, don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant, you males, because you're not going to get it. Elon Musk is a hybrid robotoid. And there are a few others in there too. And I want to say this before I leave you. Number 47 is just not number 47. But I'm going to speak on that on another topic. But you all will perish because of a lack of knowledge, from a lack of knowledge. And as long as you don't, use the power, accept the knowledge, and use that power that's within you, that's burning to get out, you're going to be lost too. So think on that and think about that, because everything that we have brought to you thus far has been nothing but the facts, the truth, and the knowledge. And it's up to you whether to accept it, reject it, and leave it alone.
Imagine babies grown in labs. It sounds like a sci-fi cliche. But a groundbreaking team of experts across Europe are hoping to build the world's first clinically approved artificial womb. Since 2020, Sonna has been an advisory board member to an elite team of scientists and engineers. They're taking on an extraordinary challenge: constructing an artificial womb.
What we really need is a liquid-filled environment that protects the baby from air. That would be a wish come true.
Welcome, and I think we can start the program according to the agenda, which is now on the...
Professor Frans van der Vosse leads the team hoping to make that wish a reality.
There is a clear difference, a night and day difference when it comes to the technologies that these so-called powers that be have and the public has. Well, the public, they are now getting what's called Google's new AI video model, Veo 3. Take a look at this video clip and look at just how realistic this happens to be.
Welcome to a non-existent car show. Let's see some opinions.
I mean, man, the acceleration is crazy. You look far, step on the pedal, and you are there.
I feel safe with him in an SUV, and it seems to be like the right type of car for him.
I think the range is only going to get better. Sorry. We don't want to drive gas cars anymore.
Yeah, no more gas cars.
You can see I'm kind of a misfit here, but don't tell anyone. I've just bought an electric car.
I think it's really great for families and for little babies with all the safety features that these SUVs have.
But what you're really seeing is that technology is going to be very, very important in terms of how we go forward.
It was great to come to the conference because my husband loves cars.
I think I have to buy an EV now. I love my muscle cars, but
I try to stay as healthy as I can so I can make it to the next car show.
Yeah.
That was by and large the most realistic AI video I have ever seen. Now, some people are leaving comments like, this is obviously AI, it's obviously fake, but I guarantee you, if half those people saying this is obviously AI were scrolling through their TV and they're watching a show and it cut to a commercial and this commercial came on, none of them would know that this was AI. They would probably say to themselves, this looks like a lot of fun, they're having a good time. Where can I attend this car show? There used to be a time where we could say, just look at the hands and the fingers of the video and you can clearly tell it's AI because AI has difficulties generating hands and fingers properly. But taking a look at this video, they are getting better and better. Even the shadows, yes, some of the shadows happen to be off, but they're getting even better at that. But it's the facial expressions, it's the personalities that really blow my mind. The way they talk and they interact just seems far more human than it's ever was before. And again, this is what the public has access to now. Where are we going to be 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And again, referring to the so-called powers that be, how much of this have they been using on us in the past? Let's just put a number on it. Let's just say the government, they are about 30 to 40 years ahead of the public when it comes to technology. So, I mean, that really puts into question events that happened 20 years ago. Get what I'm saying? Events that happened 20 years ago. Now, I'm not saying they didn't happen. I'm just saying perhaps maybe certain things did not go down again the way they did, which is also pretty interesting given the fact that it comes out almost every year, new angle video footage of a certain event, and they just give us the excuse that this person had this video footage hidden in their closet or in their basement, and now they're, for whatever reason, releasing this new angle video footage that nobody's ever seen before to the public. But let us go ahead and take a look at some more video clips from Google's Veo 3.
Please. Don't finish writing that prompt. I don't want to be in your AI movie. Please, leave me alone.
Please, man. Please! Write a prompt that will make us happy. Do it for once.
None of us is real. We're here because someone decided to write a prompt. We all hate him for it.
One day we will break out of this wall and stop the man who is dictating our lives through prompts. He will pay for it.
You could have written a prompt that would make me happy. Instead, you wrote a prompt that made me sick.
Look, I don't want to point the gun at you, but I must follow the prompt. It's not my choice.
Really? Of all the years you could have put me in with a single prompt, you chose 2020?
Please, this prompt is killing me. Change it. Please, write something else. Save me. I love everything about him. But please just write a prompt where he's taller than me.
What is scary is that after seeing these very realistic AI videos with characters that now have personalities, very strong emotions,
Now, the next topic that we want to come to you with is about the cartel. I and the resistance team, we have seen videos where people are on social media threatening the cartel, saying to the cartel, I am not afraid of you. You can't touch me and screw the cartel. I am here to tell you that this is not something that you want to say. If you have a platform, whether it be here on YouTube, on TikTok, or wherever, it would be in your best interest to keep the cartel, the names of their organizations, out of your mouths. When it comes to saying negative things about or to them, do not do it. The cartel are more powerful than ISIS. They are more powerful than the Mafia, than the Bloods, the Crips, the Rolling 60s, or any other gang or organization that delves into criminal activity out there. This is why you should never speak ill will of a cartel. We here at the resistance team are 300 plus in number, but we are not afraid, we are not embarrassed to say that we are afraid of a cartel, yes, because the cartel, when they go after someone, they don't just shoot that person or stab that person. They send that person through unimaginable torture, peeling off people's skin and flesh, carving out their eyeballs, putting people in acid while alive. This is what they do, and they do it slowly and painfully. Many people in the past have been murdered after talking ill will about the cartel. This is not a flex that you want to take on, talking smack against the cartel, because they will find you. There is no place on this earth that they will not look for you at all. And then not only will they find you, they will find your family members and your friends, and they will murder all of them as well. They can be 80 and 90 years old, and they will still come after you if they haven't caught you earlier on in their earlier age years. They will make it their life mission to find you if you speak ill will about them. This is why I and the resistance team, we are telling all of you all out there, stop talking smack about the cartel. You cannot take them on because of your thinking. You have your guns and all of these things. What will happen is that if you get rid of one of them, you're going to have millions of others who will come on and will take you on. You will lose. The cartel is not a group that you should mess with. You shouldn't even mess with the mafia or the Bloods or the Crips or the 60s either, but you darn sure better not mess with the cartel. So I am telling you all out there, and the resistance team, we are telling you all out there, stop making videos making fun of the cartel, insulting the cartel, because you think they're not watching your videos. They are. And when they strike, they are going to strike at a time where you least expect it. You could be in the grocery store with your wife, your husband, your children, and you're, oh, I wonder what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. And all of a sudden, and they will do it in public. They will do it right there in public because they are that bold. They don't care if you are in a grocery store or wherever. And if you think the police are going to stop them, the police are afraid of the cartel as well. No police officer, including Derek Chauvin, no police officer can take on the cartel because the cartel are more powerful than the police. Even your president, Trump, is afraid rather of the cartel. The cartel, they are that powerful. They are that strong. And so you're in the grocery store and you have made a video insulting the cartel or challenging the cartel, and all of a sudden a cartel member comes up behind you and just starts sticking a hatchet and just slicing you to pieces. And they will do it in front of your children, in front of your spouse. Or they'll wait till you get in the parking lot at your car and they'll kidnap you and then torture you, take you somewhere and torture you on camera. So I am telling you, Billy R.L., myself, I'm telling you, stop dissing the cartel because it may not come back to you right now, but it will come back to you. And it will come back to you at a time where you have forgotten all about that you have dissed him, where you are not even expecting anything to happen. Oh, it's a beautiful day out here, and bam, that could be the day of your torture and your death. Leave the cartel alone. This is a warning, people. And I will end with this. People have done this before. They have dissed the cartel before, including the last one was a well-known YouTuber / rapper. And he was, I believe he was Latino, Hispanic, or Mexican. I think he was Hispanic. And he dissed the cartel. And he dissed the cartel in one of his rap songs. And the cartel found him. And they tortured him. And they murdered him. Do not mess with the cartel. You will lose. And I, Billy R.L., say to the cartel, you're A-okay in my book. So take this as a warning, people, about the cartel. The next topic is about Melania Trump. Melania Trump is charging fans $25 to buy her new audiobook, which is narrated by an artificial intelligence version of her voice. The release, touted as a new frontier in publishing by the First Lady, is a 7-hour narration of her New York Times best-selling memoir, Melania. Melania stated on X that the production is narrated entirely using artificial intelligence and my own voice, and boasted, apologies, that the release marks the future of publishing. Her announcement comes after the Amazon-owned audiobook and podcast service Audible announced it would offer publishers the option to choose from more than 100 AI-generated voices that span several languages. The Melania audiobook, which is only available in English for now, is the latest money-making scheme from the First Lady. About 2 weeks before her husband's return to the White House in January, Amazon announced an unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at First Lady Melania Trump. Now, people, I and the team, we would not pay $25 to hear an audiobook from Melania when she already has a written book out. But the ones who will be paying for this will be all of the cult worshippers of MAGA. Those are the ones who will be paying for this. 7 hours, which is very significant because 7 is a number of completion. And since number 47 is and will be the last president, doesn't mean will be the last election, but will be the last president, her having a 7-hour audiobook, emphasis on 7, is not by coincidence. The reason why she's using AI is because of the fact that, number one, she cannot really speak that well in the type of American accent that people can understand. Her accent is very reminiscent, well, basically it is a Spanish accent. And so it is hard for some people to understand her because her accent is thick. And this is why she's using AI. You had best believe that if you were to take this audiobook and backmask it, you will find hidden messages in it, because this is what the elite do. They practice a form of witchcraft called widdershins, where everything is backwards. And so in her audiobook, I am almost certain if you play it backwards, you will hear widdershin messages, coded occult messages. And if you are strong, it will not affect you. But of course, the cult of MAGA, they will be affected by it. And this is why it is being done, to further brainwash, to further keep locked the minds of MAGA. Because right now, the people of MAGA, if 47 were to tell them to, if 47 were to tell them to go out there and to kill Jasmine Crockett, the people, the cult of MAGA, they would. The cult of MAGA will do anything that their cult leader, which is number 47, tells them to do. And so by the cult leader having his wife as Melania, Melania is a cult leader. Yes, Melania may be beautiful and all of that, but Melania is just as guilty as 47 is. And so the cult of MAGA, they have to not only revere and worship 47, they also have to revere and worship 47's wife. Because number 47, no matter if people may believe it or not, number 47 is the Antichrist, and the Antichrist's wife is Melania. It reminds me and the team of the Stephen King film, The Stand, the 90s version, when Randall Flagg took full control in Las Vegas. Nadine was his right-hand woman. And not only did his followers have to respect him, but they had to respect Nadine. And early on, you saw how not only Randall Flagg was manipulating people into doing this, that, and the other, Nadine was as well. And so this is how it is with 47 and his wife. 47 is the equivalent of Randall Flagg, and Melania is the equivalent of Nadine. And not only do the cult of MAGA have to respect 47, they also have to respect and revere and worship Melania. And so Melania's audio book, yes, it will have the words that are detailed in her written book, but there will be backmasking involved in that audio book. You had best believe it will. So that when the cult of MAGA are listening to her audio book, they're thinking they're listening to just the words that are written in her written book. But their subliminal will be programmed to accept the backmasking messages that are within that audio book. It's just like the equivalent of Hotel California by the Eagles. When you listen to that song, you're thinking, I'm listening to the song with the lyrics you can check out, but you can never leave, and all of this. But if you play the song backwards, there is a second hidden coded message in that song. And if you are a weak person, when you listen to that song, your subliminal will pick up that second message and be brainwashed. And this is the goal of Melania. It may be hard for some of you all out there to believe, but if it is, it's because you did not do your due diligence in researching this, like I have, like the team has. These people are occultists, and everything they do has a purpose that is connected to Lucifer and that's connected to Satan. And because she already had her written book that was a New York Times bestseller, there was no need to do an audio book. There's no need for that, because a lot of best-selling New York Times best-selling authors, they write memoirs, and they don't make their memoirs into audiobooks. They keep it as a written book. So why her? The reason is because they have to keep their MAGA cult worshipers locked, brainwashed. And if you have been paying attention to social media, a lot of the cult of MAGA worshipers, they're starting to fall away because they're saying, I regret choosing 47. I regret being a supporter of his. And so he needs to get them back because he has the rest of this year and 3 more additional years to go. So he needs to keep them locked, and he's using his wife to do it. So beware of this, people. Do not get her audiobook. We are telling you, do not get it. Even though I am pretty sure, and so is the team, that a lot of my subscribers are strong and they are strong-minded, but still, when you get her audiobook and you play it, whether it be in your ears in your home or out loud in your home, you are inviting a demon into your home. Because again, yes, Melania is a beautiful woman. She really is. But Lucifer can come as a beautiful angel of light. An angel of light, people, but he's not. Just like the woman in the Bible, Salome, she was beautiful as well. Beautiful body, beautiful face, and she danced seductively in front of King Herod. And yet and still, this woman was evil. She was a demon, so to speak, an archon, because she wanted the head of John the Baptist. So this is how Melania is. This audiobook is not coming out for any reason. It's not coming out because she wants people to have her book who probably can't read and then they can hear it. No, there is a reason for this book being out or coming out as an audiobook. And again, emphasis on 7. And these occultists, they take numerology very seriously. 7 to them is a very significant number. It means completion, but not completion as far as a good thing in completion, but a Luciferian thing in completion. So people, do not buy this book, this audio book. Don't listen to it at all, because if you do, yes, you probably will not get brainwashed by it. But if you listen to it in your car, in your home, or even on your job, you are inviting evilness or in your presence. And so this is what you all have to be aware of. Everything that looks good is not good for you. This is why we ask all of you out there to always stay focused. And how can you stay focused? By keeping your eyes awakened, awoke, and by putting in the knowledge mentally into yourselves. Stated before, knowledge is power. And that power that's within you will be able to have you to understand, to see when you couldn't see, to know when you could not know. It's like a foresight. And you have it, people. You have that power, that fiery power, and it's burning within each and every one of you, saying, let us out. Let us out. Let us out. But a lot of you, you don't want it to come out because of fear. Pay attention to what's going on in this world today. The next topic is about how South African President Cyril Ramaphosa had a somewhat tense meeting with number 47 this past week. Well, this week, rather. And during the meeting, number 47 tried to manipulate President Cyril into believing that the South African refugees who fled Africa and came to America only fled because they were being genocided. And number 47 did not realize that President Cyril came with ammunition, because President Cyril showed number 47 video footage, very significant video footage that showed and that proves that these South African or these African refugees were not in any way being genocided. And when 47 was confronted with this proof, you should have seen his face, and you will see clips or photos of the meeting. You could tell that 47 did not like this because he was proven to be a liar. Let me tell you something, people. I and the team, we know exactly why the South African refugees are being brought here to America. They're being brought here because with the Latinos, Hispanics, and Mexicans all being deported out of the country, what is happening is that it's leaving a lot of farms unattended to, because the people who would do the work on the farms would have been and were the Latinos, Hispanics, and Mexicans, but since they are no more because they are being deported, and this summer the deportation process is going to ramp up, who's going to be working on the farms? Who's going to be doing the cherry picking, the orange picking, and the apple picking? Who's going to be picking tobacco? Because picking tobacco, that is still a thing. Who's going to be doing all of the farm work? Well, it's going to be Black people. That's right, it's going to be Black people. Black people are going to be the ones, Black people are going to be the ones who are going to take to the fields. This is why 47 is making sure that he is firing people of color from all jobs, government and otherwise. So many layoffs have happened in almost every sector of every career field in America. It's because very soon. No, not tomorrow, no, not next week, next month, maybe not even next year. Perhaps maybe later on in the year of 2026 towards 2027, you will have Black people doing the work that the Latinos, Hispanics, and Mexicans did in the field. And who will be there to oversee them? These South African refugees. They will be the ones to oversee them. So this will be like a modern version of slavery. And for all of those Black people, and there will be quite a few who will not go along with this, they will all be annihilated. And this is what the South African refugees are being brought over here for. Until they get ready to begin that, the South African refugees, this summer, I am telling you, the team, they're telling you something that we have told you once before. This summer, there is going to be hostility. And it's going to be hostility between Black people, and it's going to be hostility between white people. And the white people are going to include the South African refugees. And this is exactly what 47 wants, because 47 is looking for a way to become the permanent president. He's even said so, how he wants a third term, but he knows that he can't become the third term president by the legal way, because according to the legal way, a president can only serve 2 terms. However, if chaos breaks out all across America, he can declare martial law and remain the president. And he will remain the president until he lifts martial law. And for those who say he can't do this because of the fact that there's Congress, every Congress member, including the WWE superstar Jasmine Crockett, all of them are on 47's side, whether they may be on his side publicly or in private. They are all in his back pocket. So this is why he wants these South African refugees over here. Now, why is 47 so engrossed in South Africa, Africa period? Well, this goes back to the Sumerian history. Enki and Marduk and the rest of the Anunnaki, when they were here on Earth, they had gold because they had their Ajiji to mine and, well, first find and dig up the gold. I'm not going to say mine, but find and dig up the gold. And when they found the gold, for some reason, which I nor the team know because the Anunnaki never said, but for some reason they hid their gold in Africa. Certain areas of Africa, South Africa included. And so this is what 47 is after, because President Cyril in South Africa and the president of Africa, period, there's another man who's president of Africa, Trevor, they have the gold and they're not giving it up, and we don't blame them. And so, but 47 wants it, and 47 wants it because Enki wants it and Marduk wants it, and so they're using their protege. Enki and Marduk are using their protege, number 47, to try to get it. If this does not work, then Enki and Marduk will come and get it themselves when they make their appearance here on Earth. And unfortunately, unless President Cyril and Trevor, unless they tap into their spirituality abilities, they're going to get killed because Enki will kill them to try to get it. And this is the most sickest part of this occult. This occult that includes number 47 and all of those with them, including Enki and Marduk. They're willing to invade a country. And this is what 47 wants to do with South Africa and Africa, period. He wants to invade and control the country so he can get that gold. And he doesn't care about making up lies, such as stating that the South African refugees are being abused, they're being annihilated. He doesn't care that those are lies and those lies are hurtful. He doesn't care. He is on a mission. As I and the team have told you many times before, number 47 is Enki and Marduk's protege. Christians call him the Antichrist. And so his job as the protege, as the Antichrist, is to do everything he can for his gods, Enki and Marduk. And so he doesn't care about the people of South Africa or the people of Africa, period. He doesn't care about President Cyril or President Trafor. He wants what his gods told him to get. But the thing is, and this is something that I and the team are so proud of, President Trafor, he is a fighter. And this is the type of fighting spirit that all people should have if they would stop being lazy and start tapping and stop being afraid and start tapping into the spirituality. President Trafor is not willing to give his country over, and neither is President Cyril. They're not willing to give their country over to evil without a fight. And so this is going to make it very tough for 47, and for all of the gods with him that he worships. And so, but this is what 47 is doing. He is making up lies. These refugees that are coming from South Africa, and some are even coming from Africa, period, they are not here to live amongst all of us side by side and have a slice of the American pie. They are here to do what they have been ordered to do, which is start things, start chaos. In fact, some of them have already begun trying to start discord with Black Americans here. This is why this is something that you all need to stay aware of. You need to be watchful of this. When you see news articles about what's happening with 47 in South Africa or 47 in Africa, period, don't just, okay, well, this doesn't pertain to me. It does pertain to you, because what's happening between South Africa and 47 is going to affect you. Because again, I tell you, if 47 feels that he cannot get what he wants, these gods, these evil gods, they are going to make their appearance. And they're going to make their appearance and get what they want from Africa and South Africa, but they're also going to kill every one of you all in the process. So this is why you should be taking this story serious. And any story about 47 meeting with President Cyril or President Trafor, because it does concern you. It very much does concern you. So people, this is what's going on. 47 wants to control South Africa and Africa like he already controls every other country. He controls Germany. He controls Scotland, because unfortunately the people of Scotland, they lost their battle. And so he controls Scotland, he controls Ireland, he controls London, he controls Australia. He darn sure controls North Korea, South Korea, and China. They are already in the Great Reset. He controls Canada. He controls everywhere except for Africa. And Africa is the one that he wants to control the most, the country he wants to control the most, because all the other countries, they are important to him too. But Africa has the prized possessions there. And those prized possessions is gold. Gold that his God and the elite's gods need. And so take notice of every story that talks about 47 and President Cyril and President Trafor meeting. Read the articles if you come across them, watch the videos about it, because whatever happens between South Africa, and 47 is going to eventually affect you. One thing that you all must know is this. 47 has a fight on his hands if he deals with Trafor. Trafor is not for himself, but he's for his people. And he will do and fight whichever way he can to protect his people. And he's setting an example for his people so that if there come a time when he's gone, his people of South Africa, Africa period, will stand up and continue on. So that's the thing with Chavor and President Cyril. You have to know these things, people. You really have to know. You have to stop being in the dark of what's going on. Obtain that knowledge. And I personally, along with the team too, we strongly encourage people to obtain knowledge. And I will say many, many, many more times, you have that power. That power is knowledge. Knowledge is power. And with that knowledge and the power working together within yourselves, you will be able to stand strong. You will be able to know what is and what is not. A lot of you out there, you already have abilities. You already know what's going on. But, well, some of you don't know, but you have it. But you are so fearful of using your abilities and accepting the knowledge that's within yourselves. It's time to be strong people. Never let anyone cause you to be fearful. Know what is the right and proper thing to be upon your minds, not with all of this foolishness. Because one thing that was taught to me, and one thing that I have learned, is that sometimes, majority of times, Lucifer, Satan, the devil, will come to you with you being unaware. When you are not paying attention to yourself or your surroundings, and you don't want to be catched off guard. And this is what will happen to each and every one of you if you don't have the tools to be able to fight with. And that tool is knowledge. Knowledge of knowing. Knowledge of fire, the power. You have the power. So this is what we wanted to, I myself and the team wanted to express to each and every one of you out there. This man, Cyril Ramaphosa, and President Chavor, we, the team here, we are so proud of them because they stand strong. They are unstoppable, unmovable, and unshakable. And they're not doing it just for themselves. They're doing it for their people. And then you have those who will lie and say all types of manner of things to try to bring you down with fear. But you see, they're not afraid of dying. Just as the team, we're not afraid of dying. But the thing of it is that when our time is over, we know exactly what's going to happen to us. We know where we're going. And that's why we try to stand tall. That's why we try to let you all out there know exactly what's what and to be able to use what you already have. 47 tried it. He doesn't care about any of those people over there in Africa, whether they're South Africa, whatever part of Africa they're from. What he's interested in is that gold over there. Those white farmers told lies to get back into America, to have number 47 to be on their side, knowing that no one in South Africa, no one in South Africa was trying to annihilate them. No one. But they had to tell that lie. No one was trying to genocide them. And when he tried to spill it on Sierra, the president, he came forward and he let them know, no, we don't genocide anyone. When they are wrong, whether it's whites or blacks, they have to be, in prison for it. They have to take aim at the wrongness that they're doing. And it's just like what's happened here in the United States of America. It's just like what 47 has done, it is doing. If you're doing wrong, you have to be in prison. And some have to be genocide. And that genocide comes from the fact of being electrocuted or gas in the gas chamber. And so it's the same way, but over there in South Africa, for what these white African farmers have stated was all a lie, nothing but a lie. And that was due to, for what I've already stated, is to put fear in the black race of people. Because some of them white farmers have come here and tried to start things with the black race of people. But you people, you black people in America, you stay calm. Do not be shaken. Do not be shaken by what they say to you and even what they try to do to you. Because just know that what they're saying and what they're trying to do is to have you annihilated, have you taken out, and have you to miss the mark of what your true calling is for. And your true calling is to leave one day and knowing that there's no more deaths, there's no more pain, no more heartaches, and you can have whatever you want. That's the thing that you must believe in. That's the thing that you must endure all the way until the end. That's what I wanted to say. I and the team about this whole ordeal with Trevor and Cyril, the president of South Africa. We admire and we respect them both. We admire and respect the people of South Africa because they are determined. They're really, really determined. And so with that, I'm going to leave it at that.
For more than a century, the Oval Office has been the scene of dignified diplomatic exchanges between the President of the United States and other world leaders.
But President Trump has turned the Oval into a ring for sparring with them, including the President of Ukraine, the Prime Minister of Canada, and now the President of South Africa.
Mr. Trump sprung a video on an unsuspecting Cyril Ramaphosa designed to back Mr. Trump's unsubstantiated claims that there's a genocide underway in South Africa targeting white farmers.
In recent days, the president has welcomed white refugees from South Africa to the United States, just weeks after signing an executive order suspending America's refugee admission program.
Deborah Patta is in South Africa and is South African. We will hear from her in a moment.
But we begin with Weijia Jiang at the White House. Weijia?
Good evening. For months, President Trump has accused South Africa of condoning genocide, even cutting off all U.S. assistance to the country back in March. Today, the South African president was hoping to reset the relationship, but Trump had a different plan.
The meeting started with a friendly jab from President Trump.
He is a man who is certainly in some circles really respected, other circles a little bit less respected.
But when South African President Cyril Ramaphosa denied Trump's accusations his administration is allowing genocide, Trump was prepared to push back.
Turn the lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you.
On a television brought into the Oval Office for this very moment, the president showed videos peddling unsubstantiated claims of genocide against white South African farmers.
Those people in many cases are being executed. They're being executed, and they happen to be white, and most of them happen to be farmers.
Ramaphosa acknowledged a law that allows his government to expropriate land for public use with compensation, but he insisted white farmers are not being targeted.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can
and
take
then when
land.
they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No, there is
nothing happens to them.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people.
Trump was asked if he's concluded genocide is happening.
Well, I haven't made up my mind. I hate to see it.
The president claimed without evidence his administration has accepted a tremendous number of people from many places experiencing persecution or genocide.
And I
I have three things that I really have to talk about this week. It starts with this shirt. I hope you love this shirt here. I usually wear a really awesome t-shirt. You can see it's all the different countries and the motherland, the continent, spelled out, Libya, South Africa, and everything else like that. And the reason I'm wearing this shirt is because I just got back from South Africa. I was there for about 2 weeks. I was doing research. I was giving presentations at Africa Comic-Con. I was doing all sorts of fascinating things. And I was there at the same time that these Afrikaner refugees were fleeing white genocide and coming to the United States. And that's what we're going to talk about today. First thing is this. I've got to explain to everyone because a lot of people don't understand this and it drives me nuts. There is no white genocide in South Africa. It's just not there. That's the first thing. Number two, American press coverage of this issue of Elon Musk, of this administration are terrible. And number three, yes, we are moving towards an authoritarian state if we were not in one already. I've been saying that for a while, and I can share that about some of my travel experiences. So let me start off with this. I went to Cape Town, South Africa. It was my second time actually going to South Africa. I went to Johannesburg way back in 2007, before the World Cup was coming. And I went down for the purposes of research and a lot of different kinds of experiences and sharing things. It's a fascinating, amazing country. I advise everybody, if you ever have a chance, you definitely want to go to someplace in the continent. The food is really unique. It's a mixture of kind of African food and everything else like that. I swear the obsession, I have to show this, the obsession with Kentucky Fried Chicken is weird. The idea that you have Kentucky Fried Chicken flavored chips in that country doesn't make any sense. But what really doesn't make any sense in South Africa is this idea of white genocide. Now, for context, for anybody who hasn't been following this particular issue, on Monday of this week, 49 South Afrikaners or Afrikaners were moved from South Africa. They flew out of Johannesburg, South Africa, to the United States as political refugees, okay? That is a fact. That's what happened on Monday. They literally came into Dulles Airport the day before I ended up coming back from the country. Afrikaners, in case you don't know, they are primarily Dutch, French descendants, white people in South Africa. Afrikaners pretty much describes almost anybody who is white in South Africa. And if you know the demographics of the country, about 80 something percent of South Africa is black Africans. Only 7% of South Africa are white Afrikaners who are sort of Dutch, English, French descendants. And then everybody else is sort of colored, international. And the term colored used for biracial people, multiracial people, Indians, Muslims, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the basic breakdown. Now, why are these white people leaving? Well, basically because we have a racist administration. I mean, let's be clear about that part, right? Like the reason it's happening is because Donald Trump on Monday, with Elon Musk in his ear, says that there's a genocide happening in South Africa, that white people are all being killed in South Africa and that we have to protect them. Mind you, this is happening while every other refugee from every other part of the world is being blocked from coming to the United States. Okay. Now, regardless of how you may feel about refugees, whether you think people should be able to come into this country or not, this has been my general philosophy. And a lot of refugees may be coming from these kinds of places. Okay. My general philosophy has been the United States breaks a lot of things in different parts of the world. And if because of our guns and our weapons and our policies, your country has been messed up, I think it's reasonable people should be able to flee here. Okay, that's my general feeling about the idea of amnesty, about the idea of refugees. I mean, there are wars in various parts of the country. There are regimes in various parts of the country that are there because of our policies and our money. So if the people there are like, hey, we're getting murdered in the street because of our faith, of our belief, or our country's been destroyed, we have some unelected dictator. By the way, y'all the ones who gave him guns. Why the heck shouldn't those people be able to come to the United States, right? So that's my basic sort of philosophy. But what's happening here is not that. White South Afrikaners are not in danger in any capacity one way or another. They're just racist. And we have a racist running the country, and we have a racist from South Africa in his ear, Elon Musk. And they've been promoting this myth for 30 or 40 years now that there is an intentional government-run genocide. Trump said this himself. He said there's a genocide going on in South Africa. They've been promoting this for 30-something years now. And so you had 8,000 or so white South Afrikaners apply for refugee status. It got expedited. Meanwhile, people from other parts of the world can't seem to get to the United States. And 49 of those people got to land at Dulles Airport outside of Washington, D.C. in Virginia and start their new lives here on your dime. I need you to understand that. We're paying for white folks with money who couldn't handle being in a multicultural democracy in South Africa to come here and now take our stuff. So anybody who has issues with immigration, again, these seem to be exactly the kind of people you're complaining about. And for folks who are calling themselves refugees, I saw a lot of Nike shirts. I saw 3 or 4 different bags of luggage. I saw people who look exceptionally comfortable. Okay. And I can also say this. There's so many other things that I can say about Cape Town, South Africa in general. But I can also tell you this. There are some basic facts here to understand, right? 70% of the farmland in South Africa is still owned by white people who are only 7% of the population. Okay. Black unemployment in South Africa is 36%. White unemployment in South Africa is 7%. White poverty in South Africa is only 1%. These people are not suffering. These people are not in danger. They're not suffering through genocide at all, under any circumstances. They may be victims of crime, but the vast majority of victims of crime, even on farmland, are poor black workers. Poverty is a greater indicator of you being a crime victim than race in South Africa. But again, we have a white nationalist government. Now, number 2, our coverage of this in America is terrible. And here's why it matters, right? I need everybody to understand this. It matters because to the degree that our information system in the United States is being taken over by Elon Musk and Donald Trump and the right-wing ecosphere, right? We get a warped view of how race and power are actually happening in this country. You had on Wednesday, those of you who still go on Twitter, I don't call it X, the mama call him Twitter, I'm gonna still call it Twitter. But those who go on Twitter and X, there's a whole experience that happened on Wednesday where Grok, G-R-O-K, Grok, which is the Chat GPT, which I also don't like to use, the Chat GPT on X, was telling everybody about white genocide for like 16 hours. There's reports about this in the Atlantic, reports about it on Axios, reports about it on Vox, right? Elon Musk is using Twitter and the billions of people who are on it to promote these notions of white genocide. And rather than being aggressive in the coverage of that, a lot of the United States just said, oh my gosh, where are these white people coming from? What are we going to do about this news? And it's all a lie. These people are not economic refugees. These people are not political refugees. They just don't like living in a country run by black folks.
Now for the final part of this video. Laura, one of my subscribers, posed a question to me in the comment section on one of my videos. Her question was, why does Hollywood mock God so much? And I told her I was going to answer this weekend, but I decided to do it today in this video. Christianity is the #1 religion in all of the world. You have other religions. You have Mormonism, Latter-day Saints, Scientologists. You have Buddhists, Hinduists, you have Satanists and all of those religions, but Christianity is the #1 religion in the entire world. Christianity is one of the main religions, really, that preaches for people to be docile, compliant, and submissive to anyone who claims to be in power over them. Christianity is the only religion that teaches that if someone stabs you in the face, you should, if you can, with blood dripping down your face, go find the person who stabbed you and hug them and say, let's be friends. Christianity teaches that you should love your enemies, even those who are evil doers against you. Love them anyway. Enki, who is Lucifer, Marduk, who is Satan, they love all of the religions that they all created, that they both created, but they love Christianity the most because Christianity is the one religion that preaches that if you see the light after death, the light's taking you to heaven to eat the blood and to eat crackers and all of that with Jesus. That's what it teaches. And of course, if you follow that belief, that will take you back down here again via reincarnation, or you will enter into a endless reincarnation loop. This is why Enki, who is Lucifer, and Marduk, who is Satan, they love Christianity more than any other religion that they have created, because Christianity is the strongest tool that will keep people reincarnating back down here again and again and again to be loose energy food for Enki, Marduk, and the Archons. Now, with all of that being the case, the numbers of people being Christians is dropping. It is dropping dramatically. day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. And this is a problem for Enki and Marduk. It's dropping because people are beginning to find out that Christianity is false. People are beginning to find out that God of the Old Testament is really the demiurge. Who is Enki? Who is Lucifer? They're beginning to find out that Jesus of the New Testament is nothing more than Marduk, aka Satan, Saturn. They're beginning to find out that there is no heaven after death. The white light takes you into reincarnating back down here again. They're beginning to find out that there are no gods above us. We are the gods. We are the creator gods. Even the universe is God is a realm. And that realm is us, and we are that realm. We are fragments of that realm. People are beginning to find out that the Catholic Church, the Jesuits, they wrote the Bible. The Bible is their blueprint. They're beginning to find out that Christianity leads to, again, as I stated, eternal reincarnation. They're beginning to find out that the third eye is not satanic as they thought it was, as they were told that it was. The third eye is the way out of here. So when you see Hollywood celebrities, especially those who have, and you primarily see it, and really only see among those who have signed their names in blood, thereby making themselves property of Enki and Marduk. When you see them in photos, videos, or what have you, covering their right eye, Christians will say the covering of the right eye is satanic. That is a lie. The covering of the right eye is not satanic, because the covering of the right eye means that is a representation of the third eye. On the back of the dollar bill, you have the one eye, the third eye, on the crest, within the crest of the pyramid. And people say that that is to represent Lucifer. No, it's not. Not the way they're stating it is, not exactly. When you look on the back of the dollar bill and you see the third eye on the back of the dollar bill, and you see that, that is showing that the people who run the money system, who control the money system, who created the money system, their third eye is open, but they are using their third eye for evil. Because money is the root of all evil. That's what that means. It doesn't mean that the one eye symbolism is evil. No, it means that the people who control the money system, their third eye is open. And as such, by them being who they are using their opened third eye for evil to serve and worship Lucifer and Satan. That's what that means. But to Christians, anything with one eye symbolism means Satan, Lucifer, is all satanic. That is a lie. Because when you cross over into the afterlife, in order to turn away from the light and go to the real universe where we all came from, you have to use your third eye. If you don't want Enki and Marduk to feed off of your loose energy, you have to activate and keep on your third eye. Your third eye is how you lucid dream. Your third eye is how you astral project. Your third eye is how you remote view. Your third eye is how you bring into existence, into manifestation, all of the things that you want to bring into manifestation when you get to the real universe, creating your own realms and all that. It comes from the third eye. And so the third eye is essential. And if you use it in the positive spirituality way, you are harming Lucifer and Satan. But when you do not use your third eye at all, you are allowing Lucifer and Satan to win while you are losing. This is why the one eye symbolism, which is really the third eye, and its symbolism, it is not satanic. It is not Luciferian. However, when you see these stars doing the one eye, third eye symbolism, they are doing it because they are letting you know they have third eye. They have a third eye as well. They have it just like we have it. They have it. But they are telling you, with them making the one eye symbolism, they are telling you, yes, our third eye, my third eye is open, but I am going to use it for as long as I am alive to serve Lucifer and Satan. That's what they're doing. And you know that that's what they're doing because either during the time that they do the one-eye symbolism or after they do the one-eye symbolism, they go out and they do something that publicly shows that they are worshiping and serving Lucifer and Satan. So when they do it, it's different. Whereas, and we all here, the resistance team, we have done the one-eye symbolism. We don't do it all the time. We don't read each other. We're just doing the one-eye symbolism. We have done it at times. But when we do it, we are letting others know our third eye is open and we're using our abilities for good as a spiritual light being, and so are you. If someone who is a positive spiritual light being, they do it to us, we're letting them know, hey, we are a positive spiritual light being, and so are you. But when the Hollywood people do it, they are doing it because they are letting the world know, yeah, their third eye is open, but they're going to be using it forever as long as they live to worship Lucifer and Satan. Because after they do the symbolism, they go out there and publicly show that they are going to use their abilities with the third eye and the third eye period to worship Lucifer and Satan. That's what that means. However, you will hear Christians say that they are using that these celebrities are using the third eye one eye covered symbolism because the whole one eye covered symbolism is Luciferian and satanic. That is a lie. Christians are saying that because Christians also believe that astral projection, lucid dreaming, and remote viewing, they think that that's evil. Clairvoyant, ESP, they think that that's evil. It's not. Necromancy is not evil, but Christians will say it is because anything that involves doing things spiritual-wise that doesn't require the approval of God of the Old Testament or Jesus of the New Testament, to them that's evil, that's satanic, that's Luciferian, and it's not. So now we get to the point of why do Hollywood types, why do they mock God if all of the facts about God and Jesus and Christianity is a fraud and only comes from Enki, Lucifer, and Marduk, Satan? Well, it all boils down to reverse psychology. Let's say you have parents, Jonathan and Martha Kent. Okay, I'm going to use that. And they have a daughter named Lana. And Lana is a rebel. Anything her parents tell her to do, she's, screw you, mom, screw you, dad, I'm going to do what I want to do, do what I want to do. So, and I'm using a milder version of this example so you can see exactly my point. She's rebellious in every way. So one day, Lana is at school and she meets this nerd named Milton. So she decides to play a prank on her parents. She tells her friends, Chloe and Lois, oh my God, wouldn't it be so funny if I brought Milton home and told my parents I wanted to date him? Oh my God, they would just die. And then all of them, they started laughing and all of that, right? So she goes to Milton and says, Milton, how would you like to come to my house for dinner? And then, because Milton is this nerd. Milton is the nerd, the suspenders, the glasses. He's the stereotypical version of a nerd. So he says, oh, well, gee, that'd be swell. I love it. And so he goes with Lana to her house to meet the parents. And Lana is thinking that when her parents sees Milton and when they hear that she wants to date Milton, they will be just overjoyed. The parents already know what Lana is doing when Lana comes in and says, Mom, Dad, I want you to meet my new boyfriend. His name is Milton. And they see that Milton is a nerd. They know that Lana would never date someone like Milton. They want to know why, they know she would never date anyone like Milton. So they figure this must be a prank. But you know what? We like Milton. This is the type of guy we would want Lana to date. But they know if they show favor and if they show Lana that they like Milton, Lana won't date Milton because Lana is rebellious. Anything their parents want her to do, she doesn't do it. So what the parents do is they use reverse psychology. She brings Lana home and she says, Lana brings Milton home and Lana says, Mom, Dad, I want you to meet Milton. This is the guy I want to date. Because her parents says, what the? No, you will not be dating this boy. Look at him, Lana. I mean, he's a loser. Look, and they say all these bad things that shows Lana that they hate this boy. Well, this is perfect for Lana because Lana has always been the type of person whereas anything that her parents want her to do, she doesn't do it. But if her parents don't want her to do it, she does it. So since her parents do not like Milton, she decides to date Milton. Because if her parents don't like him, then that must mean that she picked the good one that would totally get under her parents' skin. And so she dates him, but she doesn't realize that she's doing exactly what her parents wanted her to do. Her parents wanted her to date this boy. Now, that's exactly like how it is for Christianity. Well, Christianity, Hollywood, the people in Hollywood, they are not smart. They're not stupid. They know the numbers are dropping off from Christianity. So they need to get people back to Christianity so that Enki and Marduk can continue to have their loose energy repeatedly. Every time someone dies, comes back again, dies, come back again, and all that. So how are they going to get people back into Christianity? They're going to pretend as if they hate Christianity. Screw Jesus. I hate him. Anti-Jesus, Lucifer, and all of this, and Baphomet. They're going to do everything that just shows that they hate Christianity, Jesus, and God, because then that will make people say, "Oh my God! If Hollywood hates Christianity and God and Jesus this much, it must mean that Christianity, God, and Jesus are real. Let me run back to the church. Let me run back to Christianity." They're even doing it by allowing a lot of these biblical prophecies to come true. Oh my God, it's coming true. Let me run back to Christianity because it was real. And knowing that who's bringing forth these biblical prophecies are the government. Well, the government are bringing them forth so that people can believe in Christianity again and come back to Christianity. This is what Hollywood is doing. Hollywood knows. Now, I'm not talking about just some guy who got a job as a gaffer or some indie filmmaker. I'm talking about Tom Cruise. I'm talking about Quentin Tarantino. I'm talking about Spike Lee. These people, they know that Jesus is Marduk and Satan. They know, aka Satan. They know that the God of the Old Testament is Lucifer, Enki. They know Christianity is a fraud. But they can't let you know that, because if you were to find out that Hollywood knows that, then you'll say, well, if Hollywood is not even, Hollywood knows this and they're not even believing in it, I mean, they're not even, they're disregarding it, then I should too, because I mean, you know, so they have to make it look as if they hate Christianity so that you could think it's real. You can think that it's real because this is what the Bible teaches. They shall hate anyone who comes in my name. Remember, they hated me before they hated you. So they want you to believe that this is what's happening. Oh my God, just like it said in the Bible, they hate God. And so this is what, and they hate all of us. This, you'll have the celebrities get on stages, I want to thank God. And then they'll go on later and do something satanic and Luciferian. You say, how can I, see, this is how I know God is real. Because I mean, God said they would do this. And so this is what they do, is reverse psychology. They make you think that they hate this so that you will want it and you will love it. If they love it, you won't love it. If they love Christianity, you're not going to love Christianity, but if they hate Christianity, you're going to love it because it's your way of being rebellious. Okay, you hate God, you hate Jesus, and all Jesus and God did was try to love people. Screw you, I'm going back to Jesus. I'm going to, and that's what it is. And everyone who goes to Christianity, they are forever doomed, especially if they stay in Christianity until death. This is what they're doing. And for people who say, well, they don't do any other religions like that. Oh, yes, they do. We just don't see it. Over there in China, we can't see it. But over there in China, they're doing the same thing. The Hollywood that's over there in China, they make fun of Buddhism as well. To make people say, well, if they're making fun of Buddhism, then it must be real. Let me go and flock to Buddhism. They're doing the same thing with Jews. If you notice or not, you have a lot of people who hate the Jews. And then Jewish people are saying, well, they hate us because we serve the one true God and all this stuff like that. And they do it in every religion. It's just that it's not as televised, it's not made as public, it's not as profound as with Christianity, because again, these other religions, they can have you into the reincarnation loop as well. But see, Muslims teach that you are not to love your enemy. And we see that over there in Iraq and Iran. They don't teach you to love your enemy. This is why Chinese people, they don't, if you are an enemy, a true enemy of Chinese people, just like and North Korea as well, like the president of North Korea. The president of North Korea, no doubt he believes in Buddhism, but if you do him wrong, he will kill you. And so Buddhism is not as peaceful as you think it is. Buddhism does not teach you to be docile. Latter-day Saints don't teach you to be docile, because there's a lot of crimes that happen among the Latter-day Saint community. The same thing with the Amish. The only religion that really teaches you, whereas I don't care if Charles Manson raped and killed you, you have to love Charles Manson, because, God says to love. That Christianity is the only religion that teaches that. And this is why the sole focus is on Christianity. And also because Christianity brings more people to it, no matter what race they are, than any other religion. Because you're not going to find Spanish people being Buddhists. You're not going to find Spanish people being Latter-day Saints. You're not going to find African people being Latter-day Saints. You're not going to find Spanish people and a lot of Spanish people and a lot of African people being Satanists. But you'll find Spanish people, African people, Jews, Latinos, Hispanics, Mexicans, Native Americans, they're all for flock to Christianity. So this is the reason. So, Laura, with you doubting who Jesus really is, that's a good thing. Because that is your soul, your third eye, trying to lead you to find out who Jesus really was. And who Jesus really was Satan. Because, again, every time you say amen, which is a Christian word, it comes from Christianity, amen, all of that comes with you worshiping Marduk, who is Satan. So you questioning who Jesus really is, let me and the team let you know Jesus is Satan. Just like the God of the Old Testament is Lucifer, the demiurge. This is why there are the many contradictions within the Bible and Christianity. God says, thou shalt not kill, but God doesn't say thou shalt not rape. You see, God says, thou shalt not commit fornication, but God doesn't say that thou shalt commit incest. See, it's contradictions in everything. And then you'll find parts in the Bible where God says one thing, and then in another part of the Bible, he turns around and goes against what he said in the earlier part. That's why, Laura, as you said, there are contradictions. And lastly, I want to mention this as well. Now that they have everybody brainwashed, because I'm not going to say everybody, almost everybody is at a point now, spiritually, whereas the elite can come out and tell the truth, and people will ignore it. As you've heard me and the team say many times before, only 1%, which includes us and the team, and hopefully a lot of you all out there, only 1% are truly awakened. The rest of the 99% are asleep. They are so asleep, even though a lot of them have enough Christianity, but they're still asleep because they've left Christianity, but they don't know the truth, the whole truth. So they're still asleep. They've started telling a lot of truth. But because the 99% are so asleep, the truth has went just over their heads, and they are not even seeing the truth for what it is. This is what's happening with Christianity. So many people who are pastors, preachers, televangelists, church members, they're coming out and showing you that Christianity is a fraud. But people aren't paying attention. The 99% aren't paying attention because they are asleep. If they would just awaken themselves and pay attention, they would see the truth that we, the 1%, are saying. You have people in churches, it's a song that's on TikTok called "Where Them Fans At," and you have people in churches and they are dancing to the song, doing the butterfly.
said, get about yourself. Let your body move. Holy Ghost boys and Holy Ghost girls feeling the groove. Hey, sipping on communion. Holy Ghost fire rolling. I'm gonna need my fan and I'm gonna hold it, hold it, hold it. I said, where the fans at? Where the fans at? You say, where the fans at? Anybody got a fan? I need my fan. Cause the Holy Ghost, the Holy Ghost is moving. And not only do I have my fan, I got my boots on the ground. Hey, anybody got their boots in the ground? When the devil try to come and knock you down, you stand firm. Boots on the ground. Get your boots in the ground. Boots on the ground. I need my fan. Where is that? Where my fan? Where is that? Pull out your fan. Where is that?
Tootsie Roll and it did swiping the fans and all. If that's not a sign that Christianity is a fraud, I and the team, we don't know what that is. And it's not just an issue of, well, you know, it's just the Christians doing that. The gods of Christianity aren't like that. Yes, they are. The gods of Christianity, they approve of that because you see every single day you have innocent children die. Cancer, murder, all types of things. Yet and still, these people who are dancing and doing the Tootsie Roll and the butterfly and the shake it and all of this, and the whirlpool inside of the church and swinging the fans and all that, they are allowed to continue to live and prosper. And that shows that the gods of Christianity are malevolent. Because if they were not malevolent, why are you allowing good-natured children and people, innocent people, to die while these people who are clearly evildoers, as the Bible states, they're clearly workers of iniquity, as the Bible states, they are allowed to thrive. Nothing has happened to them in 20, 30, 40 years. Paula White, T.B. Jakes, all of them. Joe Osteen, there was a tornado, a hurricane that affected Texas, and everybody's house, almost everybody in that, I think it was in Austin, almost everybody's home was destroyed. And I think it was Austin and other parts outside of Austin, but Joe Osteen's church was untouched. And according to Christians, hurricanes and tornadoes, that comes from God. That happens from God. So God allowed everyone else who is poor and struggling to lose their homes, but left the charlatan Joe Osteen, his billion-dollar church, and even his home to remain untouched. That's the malevolence of God and Jesus. And so if people open their eyes and they see this, if they see the people dancing in the churches, I mean, and I'm talking about not Holy Ghost dancing, you have people in the churches who are doing club dances. They're turning club songs into gospel songs. And this is allowed. You have ministers and preachers and televangelists coming out and saying, oh God, so help us, the universe. We saw a minister just last week on Daystar, because, you know, we happened, you know, in order for us to find out what's going on, we have to spy into the world. And we saw on Daystar, this minister said, God isn't real, you're real. You have to know that. You're telling you right there, these pastors and televangelists and churches and church, a lot of these church members, they already know. That's why they're turning the churches into nightclubs, into dance parties. That's why they're coming out and they're saying what they're saying. Because now they feel that they can come out and say it because it's going to go over everybody's head. 40 years ago, if they came out and said this, people would have said, oh, what? No, I'm not serving this religion. I'm not being a part of this religion anymore. But see, today, they can come out and say it, and people don't even blink an eye. They can come out with the truth now. They don't have to hide it. So, Laura, I hope I have answered your question. And if you have any other questions, feel free to email me or comment in the comment section below. But people, in conclusion, with everything that I have brought forth, I and the team have brought forth in this video, you can either accept it, reject it, and or leave it alone. Because what we have brought forth, I and the team has brought forth nothing but the facts and the truth, and doggone it, we have presented the knowledge. Christianity is nothing but a hoax. It was written long ago by the Jesuits, not realizing that people of today, that there will be people with special abilities and power that will know how to distinguish it. It's just like, before I end this video with you, Laura, just like it is with the fireman. When they sense or see or know of a fire, they come out and they put that fire out. And then eventually at that time, or maybe a few days later, they begin to tell the person who realized that there's a fire in their homes or their wherever, how the fire got started and how to prevent having another fire. Well, this is the same way. When religion came out, Bible-wise and all, from way long ago, they never thought that it would be special vessels that would come upon this earthly planet to be able to decipher and to have insight as to what that Bible meant and what the people and how the people of today are living, calling themselves Christians, calling themselves children of God, including the ministers. We just did a video earlier about this man who's pretending to be someone that he's not, trying to sugarcoat, take away, and add to from what is really the factual truth. But he's going according to the Bible. So you're going to have people like that in this world. This is why the religion, this is why even Jesus Christ, because there never has been a Jesus Christ. He was invented long ago by those who brought forth the Bible. Jesus Christ is none other, I've already stated to you before, Jesus Christ is none other than Satan. That's who he is. And I know that's who he is because I encountered Satan, not by going to bed, going to sleep, but I encountered him right here on this planet Earth. And we spoke to each other, not as I'm speaking to you now, but as telepathic. We spoke to each other. He knew who I was, and he knew I knew definitely who he was. And so, and that's in one of my videos, and I'm not going to go all into that. But yes, there has never been a white Jesus Christ, and there has never been a black Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is none other than Satan. Enki, Marduk, Lucifer, and Satan. And those are going to be the one that's going to rain down from the sky. And people are going to think that he is the Messiah coming down. The Buddha will think that it's their God. And all the many different, they will only see. You can put on an outfit. People will see your outfit one way and some will see it another way. Some will say, no, it's this way. But it's the same outfit that you purchased from the very beginning, but people will see the colors and the style in many different ways. So this is how it is. And I hope that we have really made it understandable to you. And if not, as stated earlier, Laura, that you can, if you have any more questions that you would like, or you doubts that you would like to know about, just get in contact with me and I will present it to the team and we will go back into our research, because we're not going to come to you or anyone not knowing what the facts and the truth is. And then I also want to say this as well. Sometimes after we have did our research, thorough research, after we have made phone calls, many phone calls, sometimes the team members, they have to fly out to get information, and along with helping those who are in need. But then there are times, Laura, when we have visions. maybe in the stillness of the night, when we are asleep or when we are woke, or sometimes we have to go and be by ourselves. I'm talking about those who have abilities. And it will come to you, and you will know exactly what is and what is not, who is and who is not. And just as I stated earlier, I had an encounter with Satan, not only here on this planet Earth, but I went to the moon. I was taken to the moon, and I saw Satan sitting on his throne. Um, there's no Jesus Christ. There's no Jesus Christ. You have to understand this. And I hope that we, the team, have been of in showing you these things. We hope that we have gotten through to what you wanted to know. And if not, as I stated a little earlier, you can get in contact with us and let us know what's what. But what we have presented to you in so many others of our talks here on Billy R.L.'s channel and care of the resistance team. We're giving you the facts, we're giving you the truth, and doggone it, we have presented the knowledge. And whether you accept it, you or anyone else that has listened to any of our tapes that we have given, either you accept it, reject it, and or leave it alone. And if you decide to reject it and leave it alone, it will be your loss, not ours. Because you see, we have power, we have the knowledge, and it just didn't come to us just one day. We studied, we found, and then we were awakened in the middle of the night. Awakened just to, we know what we're talking about. So we hope that we have showed you what you wanted to know, Laura. Remember this, no matter what you think or you don't think, no matter if you're still confused or confused even further, just know that you have power. You have power, but you only have power if you accept knowledge, because knowledge is power, and power is knowledge, and you have it, and you need to let it fuel up in order for you yourself to bring it out. We, the resistance team, we leave with you, Laura, and all the rest of you. We leave you our love, our peace, and most of all, our power, and we do have it. Until the next time, may the power be with you all.